What's going on, everyone? LA Sports back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a couple of topics regarding the New York Giants. It's been a tough season for the Giants, from injuries to just bad performances to losses to bad coaching, players not executing. It's been a tough year, to say the least. But we still, we can't give up our whole franchise. I mean, you can't give up on the whole franchise. You got to continue to have hope, believe, and look and, try and figure out some sort of, future for this team. There are pieces. Without a doubt, there's pieces here that the Giants can, will probably have moving forward for the long-term run. I talked about that yesterday. I had a long-term New York Giants video, and where the Giants stand right now, what the state of the franchise is, what I think moving forward of them. So I apologize that it was such a long video. I believe it was like close to 25 minutes, but I would really appreciate if you guys haven't watched that, please do so. I talk about where the Giants should go from here, but we're going to start off in this video with Joe Judge. Now, a lot of New York Giant fans, they don't know what's going on with Joe Judge. And quite frankly, I don't blame you. I mean, he has been so up and down from last year to this season. It's unbelievable. I mean, last season we were talking about how he was one of the best coaches last season in the NFL, how he, was building a culture here for this New York Giants team, especially in the second half of the year. He instilled confidence and trust and good things for the players on our roster, the young guys moving forward. We had hope. We went out and spent big in the offseason. We got an extra first-round pick. We signed a playmaker. We drafted a playmaker. We didn't touch the offensive line, and that's on Dave Gettleman, completely on Dave Gettleman. He said when he got here he would improve the O-line. He's been, that was a disgraceful comment because he just didn't follow through with it. But this season, Joe Judge has been disappointing, to say the least, and that begs the question, should Joe Judge be fired after this season? And a lot of New York Giant fans are saying yes, and then there's some that are saying no, and I'm the ones that are saying it. I'm one of those fans. The way I see it is Joe Judge has been a guy who you've already seen some strength and positivity from last season. So, it's not like he's been awful since he got here, because he hasn't been. He's had a bad season. We're 13 weeks in. He's not been good. We're 4-8. And, a lot of that has to do with him, not being a very good coach. And at the end of the day, the Giants, they fired McAdoo very quickly. They fired Shermer very quickly. Do you want the reputation, for your franchise that, you keep on firing coaches after 2 years? Do you, as a fan, do you want that? And realistically speaking and thinking, which head coach would want to come into this situation knowing that if one thing goes wrong, they're done. They're going to get fired. I mean, it doesn't look very appealing. It really doesn't as a head coach. So, in my opinion, we already know that most of this roster, if not most of it, all of it, will really be coming back in next year. So, in my opinion, I don't see I don't see why not to bring Joe Judge back. Try again next season. We're already going to be trying with the roster to try and fix this situation. Use our first-round draft picks on the offensive line specifically and evaluate Daniel Jones with weapons, with an offensive line, with a running back behind an offensive line that can make a damn hole. That is what we need. There's no question about it. You need an offensive line. And the Giants will use at least one of those first round picks on an offensive lineman? Absolutely. And next season, the Giants should go in, see what Joe Judge is, see what Daniel Jones is, see what Saquon Barkley is, see what everything on this football team is. Bring in an offensive coordinator that you feel is going to help Daniel Jones succeed. Keep Patrick Graham here because he has not been the problem. And a lot of Giant fans, a lot of the viewers watching this video, they might not like this take to bring Joe Judge back, but you're probably not going to get a very good head coach regardless if you fire Joe Judge right now. They're coming into a somewhat of a bad situation, knowing that if they make a mistake, they're going to get fired. So, in my opinion, the Giants should bring Joe Judge back for at least one more season and evaluate him next season. If he's good and did what he did last year, he stays on. If not, you fire him. But that's what I think they should do, and ultimately that's what I think they will do. Joe Judge, I think I think they're going to make him stay on just because he's had too much say in the roster. He's had too many, hands-on decisions, even like up to now that I don't think they would give him if he were not coming back. But that's all about Joe Judge. Obviously, the GM situation, Gelman's gone, and depending on who we bring in, that might be another situation, and that might, change this, change the situation with Joe Judge as a whole. Maybe they bring in a guy that fires Joe Judge. I ultimately, though, no matter if it's a GM from inside or outside the organization, I think Joe Judge will be back. But that's all on Joe Judge, all about Joe Judge. I think he's going to be back, and I think that would be the right decision for at least one more season and reevaluate him and the whole team. This Sunday's game, of course, Daniel Jones won't play, and Mike Glennon, he's concussed. I mean, this is just the most Giants thing ever. We cannot stay healthy if our lives depended on it. Jake Fromm's going to be playing quarterback. He's expected to play quarterback at SoFi Stadium against the LA Chargers, who now Keenan Allen, their top receiver, is on the COVID list, so he may not play. Regardless, the Giants aren't really going to win this game. Their season's probably over by now, unless they magically, with a third-string quarterback, magically find a way to win, at least 4 of their last 5 games. And it's really just unfortunate for the Giants that Jake Fromm's going to have to go in there. But who knows? Maybe this is a good thing. I mean, realistically, Mike Glennon's not coming back. So is this good that Jake Fromm's starting over Mike Glennon? I think so, because the season realistically is over. And can you say that anyone is worse than Mike Glennon based off yesterday? I don't think so. And you can evaluate Jake Fromm and see if he could be your backup quarterback moving forward. That, without a doubt, is something that can happen this week against a Charger team that needs to win games. They need to win. So I think this is actually good that Jake Fromm is playing over Mike Glennon. Obviously, you'd rather have Daniel Jones, but at the end of the day, having Jake Fromm in there isn't the end of the world. He's a guy who was drafted in the 5th round, 167th overall last year to the Buffalo Bills. He's 6'2", pretty athletic guy from Georgia. He talked about how he's going to have Andrew Thomas in there and a couple of his Georgia teammates, so that's definitely cool. They're a nice reunion, and to be honest, I think if Jake Fromm plays well, I think he very well could be the New York Giants' backup quarterback moving forward into next year. That's all I got in this video, though, guys. Please, I really appreciate you guys for watching the video, first of all, but please leave a comment down below your thoughts on Jake Fromm playing and the possibility of him being the backup quarterback for the Giants moving forward into next year. I think it's definitely a possibility, regardless of how he plays in this game, because it's not going to be Mike Glennon. I think there's definitely a significant possibility of Jake Fromm being the guy, the quarterback 2 of the Giants going into next year and possibly even beyond that. Who knows? But you guys let me know your thoughts on that topic. And, of course, Joe Judge. It's a very controversial one around the Giants fan base. A lot of them want him fired. A lot of them, have the same thought I do, is that he should stay, and it's just going to hurt the franchise's overview from other people around the league. in terms of hiring a guy and the reputation. So I think Joe Judge should stay on, and I think ultimately he will end up being your New York Giants head coach moving forward in the next season. But comment down below all that good stuff, as well as leave a like on the video, subscribe if you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Let's go Giants.